What's up, Dacetacular Nation? Chris the Daceman Dace here, bringing you another game review for the Daceman Show. Today on the agenda we have VA-11 Hall-A, or Valhalla, Cyberpunk Bartender Action. It is an indie bartender simulation video game with visual novel elements as well as a cyberpunk and anime-inspired visuals. It's developed by Ban Games and published by Ysbryd Games, that's YSBRYD Games, and was released June 21st, 2016 for Microsoft Windows, PlayStation Vita, iOS, Linux, Mac, and OS. Today, yours truly is going to play through the video game as we go through this novel of a young person trying to afford rent by mixing some drinks. Let's dive in and see what we think. So, right out the gate, I'm going to let you guys know, I only played Chapter 1, which is called Primera, which is funny to me because that seems to be a Spanish word for an Asian game translated into English. Just saying. So, we start off the game right here in the apartment that we're trying to save by making money by mixing drinks. And quite frankly, I was confused when I first came in here. You just see her sitting at the desk. You have no funds. We check her phone. And I didn't do it very well. Once I checked her phone to see the email, it's not too much. We go into there, mass immigration continues, blah, 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 blah. Useless information, according to me. And then I just eventually click go to work once I get out of the phone to actually begin what I think is going to be the game. So Tuesday, December 13th. We've arrived at the bar, and the one thing I didn't really care for about this game is there's a lot of talking. Lots and lots of talking. You'll see that I start to read it, but then I eventually just plow through it because I want to get to the actual gameplay. So let's jump ahead real quick and see what the actual gameplay is. He's just pretty much giving us a tutorial right here on how to mix the drinks, so let's jump right into that actual mixing of the drinks. What happens when it comes to mixing the drinks is you're given a menu to the left, and at the left you can either search the drink by name, by flavor, by type, or by bottled drinks, such as beer. Clearly, I have no idea what's going on, so I'm just clicking things at this point, but eventually I make my way over to the menu and realize that, oh, I can hit by name and look for the specific Piano Man drink he's looking for. So we go into here, we pick up the Piano Man, and then it gives you the instructions on how to make it. And what you do is you drag the can of whatever the ingredient is into the shaker. If you want to double the strength of the drink, you put in double the amount it's telling you. Apparently, carmatrine, blah blah, fucking words I don't like saying. That's the alcohol portion of the drink. If you do not add that, there's no alcohol content. And also, if it says optional, you can put as much as you want or whatever you don't want. So you can add ice if it's required in the drink. You can age it, and of course, I found out first off the bat, don't let it go too fast because apparently that's blended. You need to get it mixed. You just got to go slow. And like an idiot, I just let it keep going infinitely. Then tried to click it until I realized there's a stop button over to the right. Click the stop button, and because I didn't make the drink right, it put curse words in that box. Once I realized I didn't make the drink right, you can reset it, and then begin again. Once you get through the tutorial, they make you pick the jukebox, which I could really care less about, because mainly I don't care about this type of music. It's not like you can add your own songs in here off of like Spotify or iTunes or whatever, so you're picking their generic music they've created. Though the music is very interesting, and probably I would use at work for background music without getting in trouble, it's not something I cared about, so I ended up keeping the same jukebox throughout the entire game. Eventually, a first customer walks in, and he's kind of a dick, and he wants a beer. So you go by name, if you click B, you find beer, and then it tells you how to make a beer. This jerk-off likes to go on and say this isn't strong enough because he's a manly man, and then we have to make him another drink, so I'm pretty sure he drank the first one free. I eventually pissed this guy off, because I don't make the last drink right. And that's all the game really is. You just keep mixing drinks, and this, of course, I only did chapter 1, so maybe more chapters, it's different. but it couldn't hold my attention. It's not a game for me. If you're into like the whole equations and problem solving and the story aspect of this is definitely a game for you. But unfortunately, I'm going to have to say it's not so much a game for me. Because it's not a game for me, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10 stars here on the Daceman Show. And the only reason it's getting a 5 out of 10 is because, again, it's not for me. It could be for someone else, and just because I don't understand the gameplay doesn't mean I accidentally it's not actually a bad game. It's well designed, the animation's there, and of course storytelling is one of the hardest things to do. So it's a decent story about a kid who's trying to make rent and stay out of trouble. So if you like it, you can pick it up on Steam. It's out now, and thank you guys for watching. And this has been Valhalla Cyberpunk Bartender Action with yours truly, Chris, the Daceman Dace. Get out and keep gaming on, guys. Thank you for watching.